asked as well, in terms of the media, in terms of your son, like what advice do you give him in terms of, social media and things like that? Do you tell him, because I know how you said that you use mute or block. Does he follow the same kind of routine, or is it more?
Do you know what? When you're younger, you kind of think you can take on the world, don't you? I think he got rapped a couple of times by Spurs for, social media usage. So that kind of pulls you back, because they teeth your money, don't they? You know what I mean? You get fined. That's my money. You're fined. So I think he's learned how to deal with that. There may have been one occasion when I said, "Can you take that down?" Do you know what I mean? I just think good upbringing and good learning, you don't have to constantly be told. You know the perils and the pitfalls and whatever on social media. And I think he very much responds in a banterish way if someone comes for him now. So he'll probably pick one to respond to. He scored against Spurs for Crystal Palace in the FA Cup last year and didn't celebrate. Spurs were the club that made him. Tottenham fan comes for him. How can you score a goal and not celebrate? Like, blah, blah, blah.
But if he celebrated, they would have still said
he went back and said, like, 16 years, 93 appearances. The club that made me is called respect. And ultimately that just blew the whole thing. Do you know what I mean? Because that is it. You respect it, don't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, regardless.
But there's always going to be people that are going to bait. Most of them just want a response. Most of them are just going to bait you. It's just, you just deal with it in the best way you can, or ignore it. So social media is just a new phenomenon, and it's the thing that actually gives people the opportunity to reach our players, our superstars, where they never would. So
do you think it's good in terms of a business point of view, like to build your own brand? Like,
without doubt. Listen, I've used social media for the power of good. I've met so many people who, I follow you on social. Do you? Who are you? But you know what? Your positivity and all that stuff. And yes, what normally happens is we override that with all the negativity. The bits that drive you crazy. And anyone that says, just ignore it, you can't ignore it. I'm sorry, you can't. There was a young lad that DM'd me after I put up a post. There was I remember this in Manchester, I think it was last year, and spray painted on a door, no blacks, to a father and his young child. So they have to open the door with no blacks on it. So I put it out there, and obviously there was outrage. And I got some DMs. Then I got this DM that just said, die. So, it's a bit harsh on a Sunday, but I didn't out the person. I just copy and pasted it and put it into a tweet and just said happy Sunday, something like that. I can't remember. Within 5 minutes, so now I've got a little following, do you know what I mean? Within 5 minutes, my little following, it's not much, but they found out who he was. They found out his Facebook page, his mum, his dad, his school, his inside leg, everything. And what was good about that was that now there's people condemning it, Troy, if you need anything, here's his school. So, maybe I should. But you know what? So that happened at about midday, 9 o'clock that evening. Mr. Townsend, I really apologise. My son will never have his phone for a period of time. He will be reprimanded. He'll be this, he'll be that, be other. So the parent got in touch and stepped up and said, we apologise. We're mortified by the fact that he would even... Boy's 16. But you know what people say? He's only... No. If you can time that. You're old enough. You know you have to pay the consequences for it. And all right, I may never know what those consequences are, but I got an apology from his dad. And that for me went a long way. And that's why I say to anyone now, if sometimes people say, don't out them, don't retweet, you give them prominence. You have to pick and choose when you deal with these people, because the ignorance will remain, unfortunately. And sometimes we've got to call the ignorance out for what it is.
No, definitely.
How do you, I just wanted to quickly say, how do you, for instance, racism is seen as a hate crime?
Yeah.
And
depends.
Yeah, exactly. And then it depends who's obviously being the person who's going to persecute and whatnot. How would you say, in terms of our day and age, that do black people actually see the perseverance of the hate crime? Do they actually get what they want out of it, or is it a case of
the lack of trust now about certain situations is unbelievable? I think black people, a lot of black players feel that what's the point of going through a process?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm dealing with 2 players at the moment who have had to deal with this process for the past 8 months, from the beginning of the season, and actually the impact of that on the player, on the family, and one case got thrown out with no kind of reason for it being thrown out at all, apart from they reckon they didn't have enough evidence or new evidence has come to light. There's another one going to court, but it was from August. And these players have still got to continue their career. They've still got to play. They're still with this on their mind as well. I don't think there's a lot of faith. I don't think, you know, if you look at, if I bring in grassroots at the moment, I don't think black and ethnic minority people at grassroots level trust the system. No. I don't think that they feel that there's benefit from them from following a case. I had my own situation. I really don't like to talk about anyone else's situation. Let me flag up my own situation when I was coaching in my last year. My team were racially abused by the parents of the opposition. This is only 4 years ago. Wow. 4 years? Yeah, 4 years ago. Listen, it was a great game of football. Two top teams. We're top, they're second. We score to go 4-3 up in what I thought was the 92nd minute. Now I know.
Sounds like some Champions League.
Chelsea
versus Barcelona.
That's some Fergie time or something.
So I know there ain't much time left. I know that for a fact. Lord, it seemed like we played for another 10 minutes. They scored, went mad, whistle went. Now, my players come over to me and saying they're monkey charting at us. So I'm asking the referee said I didn't hear it. But a player behind the referee said he heard it. So I'm asking the referee what you're doing. Their manager's giving it all big time. I'll come into your change room and they can say it in front of me. I said, you ain't going in no one's change room. My boys are 15. As far as they're concerned, they heard what they heard. We take the case, and you know what? It's the first time it's twice I followed this, a year after another incident. Yeah, that wasn't racially motivated, but we take the case to the FA. 3 months later, we're still trying to fight a case. You know, 5 months later, we go to hearing, and the opposition, the people who are in trouble, the perpetrators, do not turn up. How can you run a case and they don't turn up?
So what does that say?
We then have to go back. This time, some of the players can't make the date. And as we go back in the hearing, my players were brilliant. They remembered everything. You know, when you've been affected like that, you remember everything. Referee can't remember what happened. What? Can't remember. The panel allowed a question, right? This is right near the end. And the question they allowed was, what sound does a monkey make?
Whoa.
To my captain of 50.
Wow.
I said, excuse me? Yeah, well, you know, was it ooh or ooh-ah? And I went, you're winding me up. I said, do not answer that question. The panel went, it's a perfectly good question.
What?
I went, are you kidding me? I said, no, we ain't answering that. Don't answer that. Ruben, don't answer that. This lady's like adamant. And then the panel member went, well, perfectly good question. Can you describe whether it was ooh or ooh-ah? And I said, right, we're not answering it, so you can ask away, forget it. Their chairman walked out and said, I'm not gonna. She's just effing lost us the case. Because he knew that was bang out of order.
Yeah, of course.
So I actually walked out and said, you know what, Tanny, my assistant, boys have been brilliant. They defended themselves really well. I think we've got it. I think we've got it. I walked away, I think we've got it. Boy, when the decision come. They got away with it. They got away with it.
My goodness.
So I'm sitting here, and that's the thing that ended my career at that level. It shouldn't have done, but you know what? We won the league, we won the cup, we've gone out on a bang. But I felt I was becoming a target, particularly because of the organisation I work for. And I felt that people were going to continue to use it against me. So the powers to be felt that they could get away with it. We went viral, we went newspapers, we exposed them, and we're trying to help to make change. Now, not everyone can do that, because obviously I've got particular insight into what works, what doesn't work, do you know what I mean? But ultimately, if you're going to let players, young players, be subjected to the ignorance of a question like that, back in 2015, whatever, where are we, where are we? And that's the thing that drives me, continues to drive me. Because I'm telling you now, the grassroots arena is like the wild, wild west at the moment. You can get away with anything that you want to get away with. And you know what? You're likely to get away with it in a hearing as well. That's where we are at the moment.
Wow. Well, we haven't got much more time left, but I did want to go on. Yes. No, I was just going to talk about obviously just currently what's going on in the Premier League. Just wanted to get go on.
What you man are coming there with that?
Listen, we're ready, you know.
What do I want my legacy to be?
Yeah.
This very morning in a meeting, I spoke about how things might not change when I'm still around. This battle and fight has been long, and I'm not quite sure I'm going to see the positives of it, if you want me to be totally honest. So in a meeting this morning, I literally said that. But what we cannot forget is who we are empowering. And we cannot forget the young people who, I think every time we have this challenge, we empower people younger to take on the message, to challenge the stereotypical opinion. And I think long after I've gone, there'll be a wave of young people now who won't accept, but let's talk a little bit more. We'll see a difference in our boardrooms. We'll see a difference in our managerial structures. We'll see difference in our TV. This is bigger than what even I can imagine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that we are empowering young people now to really stand up and be themselves and value who they are. Not just because of the colour of their skin, but because they're bloody good.
Yeah.
And they're good at what they do.
Good at what they do.
And I think the more, and this is why, listen, I'm not to big you up at all.
Go on.
This is why these things are massive, though. Do you know what I mean? This is why I love coming on I know it takes, to be fair, your turnaround has been really quick. There's another group that have really been chasing me.
Oh, really?
But
Okay,
it's just, I love doing them because you know what? This is how creative we can be. We don't need nobody. But let's show how creative we can be with our own mindset and own attitude. And we might have to do things a little bit differently. And we might have to work that little bit longer. Listen, anyone that wants to know, what time are we on a Friday night? Do you know what I mean? Am I supposed to say that?
No, it's cool, man. It's cool.
I didn't know if you put it out on a
Minutes to
Monday. You should
9.
have filmed last night.
Minutes to 9, man.
But do you know what I mean?
It's cool,
Yeah,
man.
this is what we do, because ultimately we got content. We want to be fresh. We want to do things differently. We want to, we have to do things. We don't get that. Oh, can you come in for an interview or a screen? I'm not saying we don't get it, but we're doing this along with you guys are doing this along with other jobs.
Amen.
And you're putting content out that is respectful, that is decent, that people want to watch. And I know like this is one podcast. How many more we know out there?
Yeah.
Everyone is now getting creative.
That's it.
And they're influencers. And for me, I couldn't have done, your age now, I couldn't have done this.
Yeah.
I didn't even have the thought process behind this, because I'm still battling the system. I'm still trying to create Troy Townsend in an industry that doesn't want Troy Townsend. And I'm battling that while you guys are going, you know what, sod that. We'll do our stuff.
Do our own thing.
And then, you know what, who knows? Something will get picked up, whoever, I don't know. But I'm quite sure you're happy with what you're producing and what you're doing.
100%.
And the people that you get on here. So for me, this is what we leave. We, not me. We leave behind. This is what we leave behind. The legacy. And I may not be there to go, guys, beautiful man, well done. But somewhere I know I'll know. And that's probably, that for me is probably the biggest takeaway from whatever it is that I'm doing.
That's power. That's
My
power.
gosh. I don't even think I should ask him any more questions. That was deep. That was very deep, man. That was beautiful, man. Honestly. Well, I guess. Yeah, no. Obviously, I just quickly.
It's shocking.
I ain't shook. No. That was like the ending. That was like the final.
That's utopia.
We just cut the lights.
Can we edit that so that goes after? Do you know what I mean?
Nah, just talking
By the way,
obviously.
I'm going to go pee in a minute.
Just going to the Premier League and how you feel. Obviously, you're a Spurs fan. I can't believe it. We was getting on so well until I found out you were then I found out you was a Spurs fan. But like in terms of the Premier League and the levels that you're seeing, like How do you feel like in terms of Liverpool at the moment? Did you ever
Liverpool, bad. You can't say nothing else about Liverpool. You can't have a record that they've had over the last 2 seasons and not want to respect that. Forget rivalry. Forget rivalry.
Forget
Liverpool are bad.
Forget
They're pulling results out. You know, when they play bad, they pull results out. When they play good, they batter you. Do you know what I mean? Liverpool are bad. They've set. You know, everyone said that Man City set the bar, and of course. Now Liverpool are going that and beyond. Because remember, they only just lost the title last year. So the consistency levels of Liverpool are amazing, while Man City have dropped from that perch. So you can't argue with Liverpool. Bad team, badding up everything, winning. You know what? The only thing,
Go on.
I'm not sure if they're going to win the Champions League this year.
It'll be a bit difficult.
Yeah. League done and dusted.
You reckon?
Done.
Unbeaten.
I'm waiting for Palace to travel there. See, you man laugh.
No.
On his day. No,
it's true.
No, stop. Stop the podcast. You see how the man laugh?
No.
Right, hold on. What team are you? Say it again.
Arsenal.
Okay, so 3-2 last year, come back from 2-0 down this year. Man United went up Old Trafford this year, 2-1, 0-0 at their place. Man City last year, 3-2, Liverpool last year, we gave them a fright, 4-3. Fourth, and I'm in the crowd that day. Even I can't believe what I'm watching. But Palace are going toe to toe. And they're the last team to win at Anfield. I think Benteke got 2 goals. With the last, and all right, people may say this is, well, you're not the same Palace. But Palace have no fear when they travel away against these big teams. You know what I mean? It's a different Palace. So,
It's different.
saying all that, I think Liverpool will probably go the whole season. You know what? I want them to. Just to shut this man up.
He nearly convinced me to go and bet. I was gonna go bookies. He convinced me.
No, I want them to, because I just, you know what? There's so much to like about this Liverpool team. And you know the difference is they've been a good side team for a long while, but Klopp knew there were pieces missing. What did Klopp do? He went out and go and rectify 2 massive situations: goalkeeper and centre half.
Simple.
Now look, whilst all these Man City skylarking. You know Vincent Kompany's going. You have to replace Vincent Kompany. Skylarking. The next best player, Laporte, as a centre back, then gets injured. Now Fernandinho and I think next is going to play Aguero at the back there. Do you know what I mean? But do you see what I mean? There's no forward planning. Every team of quality needs a dominant centre half. And I'm not being funny. You don't actually have to have a centre half that's as dominant next to you, because you're feeding off of the dominant one.
Of course.
And Van Dijk is so dominant. If you notice, people don't cuss Lovren as much when he plays next to Van Dijk.
No, not at all.
It's true.
They don't cuss him as much when he plays next to Van Dijk. Matic, who's been questioned before, playing next to Van Dijk, man, put an extra 10 mil on that thing there. Gomez, everyone knows the quality of Gomez, but still, he's young. Don't look like he put a foot wrong next to Van Dijk. So you have to have Kompany for all those years was not the best centre half for the fact that the way he played, but the way he conducted his back line as well.
Orchestrated it,
you know, captain. That's Van Dijk. And you know what? It'd be a privilege to watch him in the summer in the Euros and see if he creates that as well about himself, because I think Holland,
they got a good team.
They got a
very good team.
Yeah, they got a good team. So
very good team.
That's for me. That and the goalkeeper Alisson. Now my man's striking balls like he should be out there popping Kevin De Bruyne stuff. You know what I mean? So you know you got to give them their due, man. They're a team and a half, and he's created something that actually could be unrivaled if they go on and and do that and maybe do the cup competitions as well.
That's true.
What about player of the season? People are saying Jordan Henderson. What do you think?
You know what, Jordan Henderson.
He's a good player.
No one can
he's a good
knock
player. No, he's good. He's good.
And there's people that will laugh about this because certain players don't get credit for the way they perform. Certain players, no matter what they do, they'll always be compared to another player who actually is probably just that one that people like.
Oh, he's not Gerrard.
Yeah.
He's not Lampard. And
he's never going to be Gerrard and Lampard. No. But ultimately, Gerrard never won a league. So if Jordan Henderson completes this now, where does that put him in the Gerrard? You know what I mean?
The debate,
Player of the season, it can only be Liverpool. And that people always go for the forwards. Mane's been exceptional this year.
I know.
Mane has been exceptional.
But people still say Salah.
No,
No, he hasn't done it.
Salah's scoring goals, but
Yeah.
Mane,
But that's what I'm
as
saying,
Mane proved the other night when he come on for a little short stint.
Yeah.
Bam, 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 goal.
Impact.
1-0, done.
Done the thing,
That's
yeah.
what you want to see. You know what? Again, for me, because of you always look at the way that you play, and then you look. So for me, I'm going Mane. I'm going Van Dijk again because nothing's changed there. Nothing's changed there. And then maybe Henderson.
Okay.
But I don't see any other team providing content to go and challenge them. Do you know, if you really wanted to, in the player of the season, the team of the season at the end of the year, just leave it. Just put Liverpool. Just leave it.
The whole
Liverpool
put
team,
Liverpool.
11.
Because really, where is their weakness? If you go throughout the whole season, you ain't really got a weakness, have you?
Go on, Sammy.
Do you see Salah leaving Liverpool?
What? That's another good one. Boy, prepare your questions. You know what? I think it might happen, you know? Listen, I was speaking on another unnamed podcast.
You can name a few.
And you think about Barcelona. Messi, 33, could probably still do a bit for another 2 seasons. Suarez injured. Not the Suarez that we know, you know what I mean? Yeah. Griezmann, you got to stick by Griezmann. Dembele ain't done it and is now injured. We were talking about Aubameyang going there. And maybe Barca needing that. But actually, do they need someone like a Salah? Who actually, do you know what I mean? You could see, the thing is, I can see Salah in a Barcelona kit. Do you know what I mean? And the way that he plays.
I thought he'll go like somewhere like PSG.
But it's not. What's the point?
Yeah.
No disrespect to PSG, and they can throw money at everything, but they consistently foul at the toughest games because they don't have that back at home. So if you go in there, you're motivated by money. Full stop. You're not motivated by. Listen, you're all right. I get another French league. I get that at a dog and duck. You can win those games. So you're motivated by money. If you're motivated by a challenge, remember Barca on the way down at the moment. You go Barca. I can actually see Klopp bringing in
Mbappe.
forwards,
Bringing Mbappe.
and that could make up his mind. You know, does it mean that he doesn't play as many games? Because at the moment, those 3 are unrivaled. It's only when they have to play 12 games in 16 days that they kind of change all that.
Kerry or
Do you know what I
Origi,
mean? But those 3 are unrivaled. Does he continue that way? I think maybe he brings a forward
You
in.
have to. Just quickly, just to round it up, I always ask some of our guests some quick fire
Yeah.
questions. Messi or Ronaldo?
Oh, come on, Marvin.
Come on, I have to ask.
Hold on. What Ronaldo? Messi.
Messi,
Yeah.
Pele or Maradona?
Leave it. Pele. Don't start. I told you about Brazil.
Yeah, no,
Don't go there.
I'm the same. I'm
Yeah.
the same.
Ooh, Pogba or Kevin De Bruyne?
De Bruyne.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I told you. Look at the Man United corner over
I
there.
have to go for one. Wait, Rio or Van Dijk?
If they win that Premier League, I'd say.
What?
Would you?
Let him answer.
He's thinking because he knows.
Nah, I'm not thinking because I know. Rio's got a little bad vibe with us, but I shouldn't let that weigh into the opinion. Rio. Consistency over a longer period of time at the moment.
Yeah.
I got one. 16-year-old Troy Townsend or 16-year-old Andros Townsend.
That's not.
That's a big one. What?
That's not even a question, man. Huh? The old boy could do a bit,
I respect that.
I'll take the young man all day long.
Left foot.
Yeah, I mean, I worked on my left foot and I didn't see it as as something that was going to hold me back because I used to score goals right on left foot. But he's dedicated his work to making sure that this is a stronger. Everyone thinks that he's a left winger. When you see most of his best goals, struck with his right foot.
Yeah, right foot, yeah.
There's
The
no.
Cusco Awards, the one that got nominated for goal of the season.
Yeah,
Man City was left foot. Yeah, that's it. But you see a lot of his best
The
goals.
right foot, the England one as well.
The England one, he's just naturally two-footed. But again, you know, you work hard on that, don't you? And you make sure that, you know, that you don't worry about whether you're crossing or... You know what? When I really noticed it, when he started taking corner kicks with his right foot, I was like, are you stupid?
That's some Zidane stuff, you
Yeah,
know.
just taking corner kicks with his right
Casually.
foot. And it's just about trusting that actually this is as good and as strong as, you know, the natural one. So, but guttingly, 16-year-old Andros and 16-year-old Troy.
All right. Well, I guess we're gonna wrap it up now, guys. We just have to say thank you so much. Honestly, thank you so much from the
Time's
bottom of my heart.
lapsed.
Yeah, time has lapsed. We've gone over time, but
Wicked.
it's been an amazing conversation. It's not just a podcast. You know, we've kind of delved deeper into who you are as an individual and what you represent, and you know the legacy that you want to leave. So all we can say is just thank you for making us be a part of it.
No, amazing, amazing.
We'll definitely keep in touch, or we'll always be in touch.
Yeah, without doubt, we'll do it again.
Thank you
sometime,
from the back page. Just before we leave, if anyone wants to get you on your socials, what?
Everything is at Towno10.
Okay.
At Towno10.
Okay, we'll make sure we add that, and also your podcast that you're doing.
Ah,
Yeah, just quickly.
yeah, the old man trying to do a little something.
No.
It's called the Conversation.
Okay.
Oh, it's called The Conversation, and our handles are at The Conversation. Replace the E with a 3.
Okay.
But yeah, just again, more football chat, more guys just doing a thing. So really enjoying that at the moment as well.
Definitely loving the content. And yeah, I guess guys, this is the back page 411. Make sure you follow us, subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.
Peace.
We're gone. Peace. Wow.
Yeah, let me go
Respect,
say
gents.
Wow.
Respect. Don't ever come and tell me, oh no, you know what, I didn't record, you know.
Listen, I was thinking it in the back of my mind.
You know what? I can't say all that again. You know?